Then. All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Iowa State basketball with College Hoops 2K8. Wanted to start here just to showcase just kind of stat-wise where we sit, and just our basic rankings for a lot of different things here. We've gotten the attendance up to 52%, so that's extremely helpful. And we got our home streak up to 12 games. Although I do have to say that home streak is probably in the most jeopardy it's been in right now. Mostly because of Missouri, Kansas, who's a little bit lesser than they've been. But the big one, Texas. That one's going to be a real pain. So we'll see what happens in these games. Hopefully I can get away with at least like 1 or 2 wins. I have a feeling I won't get away with all 3, but I mean, you never know. I've had stranger wins.
It's College Hoops 2K8. The Missouri Tigers go up against the Iowa State Cyclones.
13 and 10 is not bad, but
Hi there, everyone.
it's still a highly skilled team, so.
The Cyclones control the
There we go.
tip-off.
I didn't really even talk too much about. There we go. Just put it up. Just put it up, big man. Ah.
Let's check in with our sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson.
I don't know if I talked too much about when I went to Wizard World this weekend. It's not much. I bought a bunch of art, and one guy who, like, I wish he had like a business card or something, but I did end up at least finding the guy's website. He does like watercolor art, and it's actually really cool because it's a whole lot of different characters with watercolors, and then it looks like, then he made it look like it was like a liquid too.
Takes it up.
Go.
Offensive rebound.
Do it again. Oh my god. All right. That's fine.
Shelton dishes it to the
these past couple days have just been a long past couple days of trying to get back into the swing of working.
He's got 3. Neverett hands it off. It's stolen by Feller.
Oh no. That could have gone better.
Great pick.
That went better.
Left in the half.
All right, big boy, let's see what you got.
Backs down.
Hey, Jack.
Takes it up.
I would have jumped onto your stream, but I probably just like actually sat down in my chair. Probably like not too long before I actually started streaming, just about 15 minutes ago.
Tacks on the free throw for the 3-point
It's been a long day. Hung out with my roommate a bit. He's got his birthday on Saturday, or at least the party. So I feel like I gotta kind of spiff my room up a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna make it look that great compared to like normal people's standards. But at least be clean.
Was no good. Neverett brings it up the floor.
Bubolz went after that rebound hard. Great work.
Bubolz tosses it up. Hits the tray.
There we go.
They're up 8-4.
I'm actually really torn because I got 2 different friends' birthday parties on Saturday too, so I can only go to one. So my most likely bet's going to be with my roommates because I've hung out with the other friends the past like few weeks, and then we'll be hanging out like next weekend. This is the one downside to like this part of the year is like there's about 3 or 4 of us in our friends group that have birthdays. There's 3 of us that have birthdays within, I think, like 9 days of each other. So it gets crazy with that.
Goes up.
And there's pride.
Good job on the layup by Shelton.
And yeah, in our group we have probably at least 2 or 3 of them that really look forward to Pride Weekend in Des Moines. I really should have done shooting. That's kind of where our issues have lied. I think our defense has been all right. It's our shooting that's been suspect.
Just over 9 minutes left in the half. What a pass!
Terrific work to
all right, and one.
And hit the shot. Pretty, Vern.
Brock to make his first stand off the bench.
On the bright side, my body's still like basically readjusted itself, and I've been really much better about actually like going to bed at a decent time, or at least a decent enough time for me, where I fall asleep before like 7 a.m., which is great because then that allows me at least like a good 7 hours of sleep now, rather than the 5 to 6 I was getting before, because I would stay up until like at least 8 in the morning, sometimes later, just because I was up reading something or watching videos or whatnot, and get barely any sleep. So I actually get to feel like awake and refreshed when I'm at work. It's a weird feeling.
Sherman takes a 3. Brock yanks it down inside. The last shot laid gently in.
No way he was coming up empty when he got the ball that close to the rim.
They're going to double team him. Neverett lobs it down low from the paint. Pulled in.
Wow. Good for me. The one downside to that is I really need to start like getting into the habit of starting my streams a little bit earlier, so I could do everything I want to do, rather than what it's been of like sometimes I'll just get to like one thing and be like, yeah, I guess I'm done because I'm really tired. I used to start my streams at like 2:30 in the morning. I really should do that. Now it's like 3:30. Today was 4. It was kind of a long day, but I was waiting for a foul there. I didn't get it.
To make some big-time rejections.
Cochran to take the lead. Boylan snatches it down inside. With nobody around,
what's your first few edges of college hoops lately, and now you're streaming this? Funny how it works like that. It really does. I mean, eventually you're gonna like if you've been watching my college hoop stuff. Eventually you're gonna come across it because I stream it. You know, it's in the rotation still because I'm 10 seasons in now. I gotta make better decisions with the shooting right this second.
Cochran pulls the trigger. Can't take the lead.
The one thing that's been fallen by the wayside, though, is some of my Switch games. Like, I've been able to kind of play them, but I haven't been, like, so invested into playing them as much right now. Which is weird, because, like, it's... I don't know if anyone else has ever been like this. But there are some times that I really enjoy a game, and I really like playing it. Like, I bought Hyrule Warriors, and I love it. I love playing it. I love, you know, I really enjoy it. And I want to play it again, but for some reason I feel like I have to be in a specific mood to play it again. It's not like it's not like I don't want to play it. Like, I do want to, but, like, I just don't ever feel like it. It's weird. Because it's easy enough to just like pick up my controller and like turn it on. It's already in my Switch and everything. It's super simple. I get that a lot of times with different games that I like it, I enjoy it, I want to play it, but then I end up choosing something different. I think I end up choosing games that end up being like my zone out games. Like, I got Colony Survival. That's a big zone out game for me. Like, the type of games that I could have it on my main monitor playing, and then like on one of my side monitors, I could have like YouTube or podcasts or something. I feel like Hyrule Warriors isn't like a zone out game, and it's so often, like recently, I've been doing a lot of my zone out stuff, like either Colony Survival or Raft or the show. The show's big because that's that's literally just you know, I can go through like my own career mode separate from my stream, and you know, just swing the bat. I've been able to get in such a routine with that. I think that's the difference in some of the games, is that some games aren't zone out games. Some games I want to pay attention to, but many times I just feel like zoning out.
Bounces it to the left side to give them the lead. Collected inside by Andrew. How did he miss that one?
It happens. He's just got to shake it off and reload.
There we go.
Andrew goes up.
There you go. Nice little post move. I was wondering when we get there. You're watching like episode 4 College Hoop Series, and you're like, yeah, New Japan's in the background. I wonder if I should stream Minecraft and just chill. Zombies like took over my village. Man, was I still playing Minecraft at that point? I feel like I wasn't. I don't know.
He must have thought someone was.
I probably was. I like. It's really weird. Minecraft for me goes in like waves. Ever since I got it, like I was like one of those alpha people that spent like $13 on the game because it was 50% off. And like I got really into it in the first like couple years, and then like every once in a while it would just like come and go in waves. And then now they have other games that kind of take over that building aspect or add on to it, like Colony Survival or Raft. Like a little bit, like the same type of gameplay, but a little bit different. Shot selection.
Well, let's get back to the action. Both teams are going to shake things up a little bit with some subs. Cochran inbounds the ball.
It's one of those things is I feel like I could be more productive. And then I just choose not to.
Buries it. They close the gap to 4. About 4.5 minutes left in the half.
There we go.
McLaren backs him down. Brinkley flips it in for 2. And they're out in front by 6. Missouri has had serious problems with their interior defense.
I was out to dinner with my mom.
Coach Anderson is definitely aware of that problem.
I don't think she I don't tell my mom I stream, mostly because I don't think she quite understands the concept of it, or would at least understand or even care, even if she did understand the concept of it. So according to her, I just play video games all night, which is honestly like, it's pretty much the truth. But she's like, you really should start working more hours so that you could get some extra money. It's like, it's not a terrible idea.
Gets the second to fall as well. Cochran inbounds the ball.
She's like, instead of playing video games all night, I'm like, slightly more complicated than that, but okay.
Wait for the misstep and then capitalize.
Miles throws it up. Chavez snatches the rebound. The break is on.
Chavez did a good job to grab that rebound. Perfect position that time.
Last tray off the mark.
She's also very concerned about my love life too. That was another big thing I got a kick out of. Was she was talking about some of the places here in Des Moines. She's like, you know, just outside of downtown, they got some relatively cheap places, and been seeing a lot of young, attractive women around here. I'm like, it's like, listen, I'm not. I try, but sometimes it doesn't work out. I don't even think I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned, because I've always talked about like, oh, a girl I was talking to. I don't know if I mentioned about that falling through.
From 18 feet away. Perfect shot.
Quite the interesting story.
He's got 8.
They've got their defense and it's
because like I had this like I remember talking about this, especially because back in like November I went to like a convention with this girl, and as well as last year. I probably have mentioned it, but it's at least worth mentioning again that like it was one of those things where we both had like an understanding of mutual admiration of one another. Oh, I fucking knew it.
Both teams are going to make some
the Puerto Rican culture is like, you get a girlfriend by age 12, so since she's 12, begging me to date, basically. Yeah, so there was this girl. There was like a mutual admiration. It was a little wonky because she lives like out in the middle of nowhere, like an hour and a half away. So there's that. And then, so there's like the distance and then the fact that she like needs to be friends with someone before she could like just date them. And I'm like, yeah, but that kind of makes everything counterproductive. Because then you become really good friends and you don't want to ruin the friendship of the relationship. And yeah, I was going to invite her to Wizard World this past weekend. And yeah, I ended up finding out through a friend. It was like, oh, yeah, about that. She found a guy that she's now dating. You know, out where she lives. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no. And he's like, yeah, you know, it's a guy who works with her. I'm like, oh, okay, that's, you know, that's cool. I would have liked to know him, but, and then he like looks at me. He's like, no, it's not okay. I'm like, I mean, I'm fine with it. And he's like, no. See, there's this weirdness here because, you know, I would have been fine with her dating you because you guys both are 27. I've met this guy, and because she's 27 and this guy that she's now dating is like 42. And I'm like, oh, I see why it's less okay now. Yeah, I did do quite a bit to keep out of the friend zone because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to like hit her up like maybe once a week to talk to her because I'd seen like some of the other guys who did get in that point. But yeah, yeah, 42. I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, this man is less than a decade away from an AARP card. And you're thinking, yeah, this is a guy I want to be around? Okay. So I haven't really talked to her beyond like maybe just a quick conversation just to see what's up, and now she's being like deliberately vague. And then I'm hearing from like a couple other friends that some of her best friends that she was you know, that she hung around with and she was talking to, she didn't really like talk to too much anymore. So yeah, there was this feeling that, you know, maybe this, you know, there was maybe some issues that they didn't quite know about. They're like, yeah, I think there might be some issues there. I think she might have a screw loose. We thought they actually, because like a couple of my friends were the ones who like tried to get, you know, convince me to like talk to her. And he's just like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know, you know, if I knew she had a screw loose, you know, it would be, yeah, that guy in today's society could be her dad. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, whatever. That's the great thing about, you know, my life is I can just worry about, doing my streaming and saving up money for a house. I still look once in a while. I also am trying to get a car, a new car. It's hard. It's hard to get like a halfway decent car with low miles and like not a huge price tag attached to it. That's a bit of a pain. And I'd like a new one before winter because my car is like, it runs, but it's not in a great condition. And it's not one I want to be around in the winter. It was not, this winter was not fun with my current car, and I prefer not to do it again. I prefer to have another car by that point. Oh my God, I was trying to pass it. Big Daddy don't understand this guy's girlfriend leaves him for some old guy. That really should be. I think I made the joke like sometime after I found that. I'm like, hey man, maybe I should hit up some of the attractive Vietnamese women I work with. They're like in their 40s. I think a couple of them in their 50s, but.
He didn't get the steal, but he's still disrupting the offense.
To be fair, though, like, I've kind of seen the guy that, like, on Facebook. Because she, like, announced it on Facebook. And people were celebrating it, and I seen the guy, and it's just like, really? Really? Okay. Sure. Well, why not? And like some of the, I gotta admit, that was actually when I went on my cruise, because some of the Vietnamese women actually at my work are they're not bad looking. In fact, yeah, when I went on my cruise, one of the guys that I work with, he's like maybe 32, so he's just a few years older than me, but we get along a lot because he's pretty nerdy, but also like really into like you know, like weightlifting and all that stuff. So he's like, it's like the things that he loves is like DC movies and weightlifting. It's an interesting combination, but it helps him with his cosplay when he does like Superman. He did Superman this weekend at Wizard World. It looked pretty good. Or when he does like Batman or Captain America. But yeah, he is like head over heels in love with like this woman there. She's probably late 30s or so. But yeah, he actually texted me like on my vacation about the fact that one day she was wearing short shorts while he was taking over my position for the week. And that was like the first thing I read when I was when I had Wi-Fi again on the cruise. Like that was one of the first things I read, was just him with like hard eyes going, "She's wearing short shorts today."
Both teams are going to make some substitutions.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe the guy has a 5-year plan. What is it? Don't die?
Brock inbounds the ball. Missouri needs to cut down on the turnovers.
Oh, man, now I just want to quote Big Daddy.
Tracy?
Coach Anderson stood in front of the bench a moment ago and said, if we can't hold on to the ball any better than this, there is no
What
way
happened
we
to
can
Sid's
win this
5-year
game.
plan?
Guys, he's trying
I
to
guess
get
it's a
his
10-year
message
plan.
across loud
Is
and
that the
clear.
guy with the old balls?
Goes up, rips it down. 17 points.
I think I gotta watch that again. I haven't watched like a bunch of movies.
Find some answers here. Missouri calls time.
Let's keep going on the defense. We've got them kind of on the run here with 17 points. I didn't even realize that we happened to be on them. Yeah, nothing like relaxing on vacation on a cruise and getting a text about a chick wearing short shorts. I mean, she's very good looking. But yeah, that was like the first thing.
But they're still down by 50.
I'm like, that's great, man. Have fun.
Takes it up. Powered down by Andrew. They're ahead 50-33. Just over 9 minutes.
I don't know how I'm ahead by 17. I don't know what the hell happened. Because I'm pretty sure they've been making shots. We've just been somehow making more. I'm not even sure how. I'm pretty sure our three-point shooting has been abysmal. I don't remember me actually hitting a three-point shot yet this game. Wow. Okay. Well, I can start to see why they're here. Let me see this. It's going to be contested, but I mean, I'm up by 17. I don't know if I need to like be that careful at this point. I've had a few and ones. That does make sense. Like, I know I've had at least a couple, but I figured they've been... maybe my brain just, like, turned off as I was telling stories and then turned back on, and I realized I was up by almost 20 points. That's how streaming this tends to go. For some reason, I tend to do better when I'm not focusing directly on the game. Like, if I'm in try-hard mode, that's when I'm going to completely fuck up. But when I just don't give a fuck and I'm discussing something else, that's usually when I'm just killing people.
Getting set to inbound the ball. The Cyclones are making a few lineup changes.
Yeah, my roommate and I were discussing going to a gym. Like, I've been in and out of like gym memberships, and he's had gym memberships. I don't know if he still has his or not, if he plans on going back or how often he goes. But yeah, we were discussing that as we were eating pizza from a local pizza place because we split like a pizza. How do you miss a wide open layup? How do you do that? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I don't know how that one happened.
15 unanswered points. Just over 7 minutes left in the second half.
Did he just? Oh, okay. I'm like, did he just intentionally foul him? Why?
Cochran hasn't had a good game so far. He's going to sit down for a while.
I feel like I could probably call it good at this point, right?
Boobles has it right wing.
I mean, I'm at my 20 now.
Miles, no good from three-point land.
Yeah, that layup. I'm starting to see why they're down by 21 now. I mean, it's probably about. I have a feeling. I want to try to get at least another minute in because I have just this gut feeling like the team's gonna, do stuff like that in the time that it takes to finish the game out.
The panic button and sent the ball sailing.
Missouri is really struggling. Fellers, good from downtown. He's 1 for 4 from downtown.
I have no idea what they were thinking on that layup. Oh yeah, that was the center. Why did I have the center take the shot?
He got lucky there, Vern. You can't expect many misses when you're that open.
Catches it down low. Sherman from 17 feet out.
There you go.
Good. 10 points.
All right, let's try not to lose this game.
Never passes it to the high
oh yeah, I did find a YouTube series that I guess is on DVD.
Nice move, but it's off.
And I'm thinking about getting the DVD because it's such an interesting thing that I guess he made it as like a quote-unquote TV series, but I mean, it's probably just like he says that, but it's probably just a mini-series on YouTube because you can find all the episodes on YouTube called Playing for Peanuts. And it's really interesting, like documentary detailing like the lives of like extremely low-level baseball players. Like they had just started this league in like Georgia and Florida and like the Southeast.
We'll make some substitutions.
And it's like an independent baseball league, just playing for hardly anything on the hopes. Oh no, my controller went on me. I think I discussed that on the NCAA. I did on the NCAA football thing that I was looking forward to when these died on me. One sec. All right, sorry about that.
He gets them both.
But yeah, it's very interesting. Just like seeing like how they live, where it's like, oh, you're playing in an independent league. Not a lot of people show up to these games.
They now trail by 14.
And it also follows, I guess, Wally Backman, who was going to be like a manager.
Covington.
I think in like 2004, I bet you there's probably still articles and stuff. But in 2004, he was set to be the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And, a lot of stuff about his personal life came out, and they ended up rescinding it. And then he didn't do any sort of managerial work for like 2 years until they offered him to be in this a manager in an independent league. 2 years later, and it's like his comeback to being a baseball manager with these guys, and also showcasing like how they're living. It's crazy Because, like, they're talking about the, I think it's like the Southern Coast League or something like that, I think it was. And they're talking, like, it's insane because it's like, oh, yeah, we get about, like, they're talking about the players. They're like, yeah, the players make around $500 a month. They max out generally at the absolute most at $2,000 a month. Oh, my God. He's like, the salary cap for an entire season per team is $75,000. You gotta be able to, like, the hard cap is $75,000 a season per team. And he's like, I think we worked it out once with Alex Rodriguez's contract, and he makes that in something like 2 games. Like, Jesus.
Skip pass, cross court.
But yeah, it's just kind of crazy because it's like, man, it's crazy enough on maybe AAA level ball, even AA level ball, but then like you still deal with the single A and advanced A, and like this is even below all that.
There were just too many defenders around him.
Boobles inbounds the ball.
And I imagine it'd be relatively close to the same thing when it comes to, and I wanted to pump fake, but I'll take it. I imagine it's relatively close to the same thing when, like for indoor football, because I think that was a thing talked about, was that the indoor football players, like they get their housing paid for, but I think the salary, like the official IFL salary, is like $200 a game. And then maybe an extra 25 if you win. Not sure. I wanted to pump fake again. Okay, I'll take it. Every time I think I'm going to pump fake, he just takes the shot and it's in. Hollywood could make a movie out of it. Yeah, it's very interesting, especially considering it's great that they did it on Wally Backman too, because Wally Backman is a very interesting person, especially when he's on the field as a manager. I think if you just type in like Wally Backman ejection, there's one of the greatest meltdowns I've ever seen, where he is just going, he's just like, he's angry, like he's kind of going crazy but kind of not, and he's just throwing a temper tantrum, and it's so fucking great. Like, he's just kidding in the umpire's face. Ejects one of these players, and he's just like, what did he fucking say? He didn't fucking say anything to you. And the umpire's like, you're out of here. And he's like, what the fuck did I say to you? He's like, I'm not leaving until I know what this fucker said, what I fucking said to him. And you hear the ump just be like, in my report. And he's like, oh yeah, in your report? Take that report and shove it up your fucking ass. Like, Jesus, it's amazing how you can talk at that sort of level. I fucking died when he just said, take that report and shove it up your fucking ass. And then he took all the bats. He took all the bats in the dugout and tossed them onto the field, and then took the bucket of balls and also tossed it onto the field. And as he's walking away, told all of his players, he's like, none of you are picking this up. He's like, the umps are picking that up. Tell them to pick that shit up.
That's why you squeeze it, young fella.
Here's the double team.
There we go.
Dishes it to the baseline. Boylan tosses it up.
Hey.
Baseline J. They're in front, 72-53.
I think he threatened to kick his ass too. I think he's just like, you fucking pipsqueak. I gotta knock your head off your shoulders. Good old days when managers got tossed and just did anything and everything while getting ejected by the umps. That's basically how that worked. I think he was just getting his money's worth off of his ejection. Like, fuck it. And like the guy's sitting, and like one of the the ump is like doing the report thing, and the other ump is like, Wally, come on, Wally, come on. Like, they're not trying to like force him away, but he's like, yeah, come on, man, come on, just come on, man, let's go.
Raises up. The three-pointer was offline by Lampkin.
As he's tossing bats, and the umpires is like, Wally, man, come on. Oh my God.
anticipation and quick hands.
It's a deuce.
Like I said, it wasn't even that long ago. I think it was like 2006. So I guess it was like 12 years ago now, I think, is when that happened. But yeah, it's crazy. All right, we might as well just, nope. We got a shooter. I don't think we got a shooter.
Brinkley throws it up.
There we go,
No
whatever.
luck. And
Got it.
that's the ball game.
Nice win.
The Cyclones blow out Missouri 74 to
21
53.
points.
Now it's time to show you our player of the game.
Andrew, I'm shocked. One manager, you forgot who it was. Some like minor league game. The manager just poured water on home plate, then threw the third base in the outfield and tossed some bats. Meanwhile, like 76 fans were there to see it.
Game-changing performance.
Thanks, Vern. Welcome, everyone, to the 2K Sports Studios. I'm Greg Gumbel, and we're set to bring you the Pontiac game-changing
I would love to know who that is.
A slam dunk that brings the crowd to a seat. Always a fan favorite, the Iowa State Cyclones. Slam the door.
I really want to know
this
about
is
that.
Vermont Twist for Tracy Wolfson and Bill Raftery. We hope you enjoyed this
Baseball
presentation of college hoops
manager.
on 2K Sports.
Epic meltdown. Oh, there you go. I put in baseball manager and epic meltdown shows up, and then the video that you were talking about is the second one. So the first one is what I was just talking about with Wally Backman getting tossed and just tossing bats and everything else onto the field. And then the second one is minor leagues Braves managers Phil Wellman goes nuts, and it's got to be the video because he's got a base in his hand. Fantastic. Returned from his injury. Yeah, reset lineup and continue. I like how just putting that in gives, like, it gives the video I was talking about and then the video that you were talking about. So if you'd like to see baseball managers losing their absolute fucking minds, just go ahead and type in baseball manager epic meltdown into YouTube. And you should find it. All right, we're gonna get some good guys coming in here. I'm appreciating it. Here we go. I think I could pretty much do these all on my own at this point. I think that was one of the big things, is that I could just do this all on my own, but oh well, give my guys a little bit of something to do. I've got so many points to not use on anything. Like, because I've already got, like, juniors and seniors and freshmen. I got, like, all that crap lined up now. Unless I started looking at a bunch more juniors. But now we're, a week away from the end, so it's not really necessary. So we'll sim Nebraska, and then we'll play Kansas, because Nebraska's an away game, and we'll be done with the season. Uh-oh, Buboltz has been injured. Broken toe, 29 days. Not good. Oh, he just barely lost the Nebraska game. Somehow we managed to hold on to the top 25. I mean, we did make a win, but we did lose to Oklahoma. Did we face Oklahoma at all? We didn't face Oklahoma at all, besides the one time. And now we got this Kansas game. We got our asses kicked. No, we didn't. We didn't get our asses kicked that bad, honestly. And that was a computer version of them. So now we get to play them at home. We already only lost by 6 to them. And they're a weakened Kansas team, not what they're used to.
Get ready for college hoops.
So yeah, that was my day.
2K8.
Oh yeah, then I also looked at another game. I'm really on the fence about getting it.
This one promises to be a
I might want to, just because I keep like watching videos of it. This is how I ended up buying Raft, by the way, which I really enjoy. Although I've gotten to like a ceiling now where I need to start like finding islands and like mining stuff from there. Otherwise, I've been really enjoying Raft, but there seems to be like this ceiling now. But yeah, I ended up watching what is it? Home Flipper. I guess it's like a big game on Twitch and YouTube to play in the last like recent weeks. I guess it's also been a bestseller. But I've been watching videos of it going, you know, this doesn't look too bad. This looks like another zone out type game that I would just somehow plunk in 100 hours without even thinking about it.
Andrew takes it up.
There we go. Sydney Blue Sox manager throws base into the beer garden. Nice. Hey! Oh.
Feeds high post. Misses the three-pointer.
I was going to try to eat somewhat healthy, and then my roommate was like, hey, man, I feel like getting pizza. There's like a local pizza place that delivers till 2 a.m. pretty much every day, even on weekdays. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. We can go half on it. So we got some terrible for us pizza. And then we each got the appetizers we liked. He does jalapeno poppers, I do mozzarella sticks. And then I finished my half and hated life. I'm pretty sure he felt the same way. Why didn't you back up? Back up. There you go. Post up. There you go. Oh, no. Take another shot. This time closer.
Got two. Sheridan passes it up court.
But yeah, I don't know why House Flipper it feels like a good zone out game.
Here's the spin move. Knocked loose, but it's recovered by Sheridan.
Speaking of minor league baseball, I'm a little bit peeved at the show. Slightly peeved. I'm not really that peeved. It's just one of those things where I feel like I deserve a major league contract after like 4 seasons in AAA ball. And I'm just now getting a look in spring training for the MLB, but they've already got like a solid third baseman, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, why did no one try to sign me in the off season? I had the sort of season you would want on your team. There we go. Ordering pizza at like 2 a.m. sounds cool for about a few seconds until it sinks in. Oh, it was great. It was great as I was eating, chowing down on those mozzarella sticks. Then I got about 1 or 2 slices of pizza in, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is great stuff. And now I'm sitting here a couple of Pepto-Bismol later, just not enjoying life as much because I've got heartburn and everything else. As I use the scale at work to weigh myself, and I just have to try to convince myself that my clothes are weighing more and more each day.
The Cyclones looking to extend their run. Bennett hands it off. Backs down.
Come on, come on, come on.
Takes it up. Laid in.
Boom.
They just keep rolling. 16 unanswered.
Utility guy like first base who doesn't need a hitter or something. To be fair, they're actually kind of using me. Like, I got a call up in spring training, and that's what I'm doing. I'm like a 7th or 8th inning pinch hitter. I'm a late game pinch hitter. So I sat there and I'm like, you know, third base is kind of my thing, but I'll like if a team needs me, I'll totally play. Like I'll do the David Ortiz thing and just be like a career designated hitter. I feel like that would have been great if I could actually choose that as a position. Like, nah, I don't really want to play a position. I want to play DH. How am I up by 16? What happened?
They're getting set to inbound the ball.
Yeah, they started like testing me at other areas. Like, that was weird because I've been a third baseman pretty much. Like, I started off at shortstop. I chose shortstop, and then, like, a month into being a minor league player, they're like, we think you'd be better at third base. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I realized it's like, oh, yeah, no, I do pretty well at third base. That's fine. It's kind of like shortstop, just a little bit farther down. A couple extra things to do, but no problem. And then the next thing I know, like, I'm in spring training, and they're, like, shoving me into right field. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
No one was open, and they'll turn it
really? I was doing the post move. I had my post move going. I hate that rule so much. I've been able to cut it down more and more, but
catches it right wing. Conroy can't get
there
the
we go.
three-pointer to fall. Just over 7 minutes left in the half.
They've got to learn to be patient on offense. Good shots.
Yeah, and then like I was really expecting a day where they're just gonna have me at pitcher. They're like, why am I pitching now?
Puts it up, gets it to go.
Oh.
He's either got to foul hard or don't foul at all. You can't just give up easy three-point plays.
Tacks on the free throw for the three-point play. Slater inbounds the ball. Right wing. Dishes it to the baseline. The baseline jumper
there we go.
There by Evie Kunle. The Cyclone.
You know, someone had asked me about like NBA Live the other day, and it honestly made me sit here and go, you know, I don't know if I'll get 2K NBA 2K19. It's really like one of those things is like I didn't hate NBA 2K18 as much as some other people did. But like I'm not really an online person, so like if I'm gonna play like my league and my GM and my career, which is the basis of most of my stuff. It's mostly my league, a little bit of my GM. I played a little bit of it, did like some story stuff, and then like my career was just it was such a slog. I don't think I made it past like the first like dozen or so. Professional games. It was such a slog. It was actually kind of funny because I was reading a thing on like the NBA 2K subreddit, and they were talking about like NBA Live, and they were talking about it, and they were talking about like my career. They were just like, oh man, you know, my career is just kind of a slog, and I don't know if I'd do it, and blah blah blah. And someone was like, oh, yeah, well, you know, the one NBA Live's the one really isn't, it really wasn't that great either. You know, there's no cutscenes, no trash talking on social media, no this, that, and everything else. Like, he basically, it was kind of funny because he's, like, listing off the things that kind of irritated people about 2K18. And, like, he mentioned cutscenes. He's like, yeah, man, there's no cutscenes or anything. And someone was just like, no cutscenes? I'm in. Sign me up.
Well, let's get back to the action.
Unless no players on the team, your team has ran out of guys in the bullpen. Son, get on the mound. They just need to make a more complete baseball game that just allows you to like, nah, I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna play Japanese ball.
The Jayhawks will get this one back.
Live is better than 2K. Live you can see is a good better. 2K wants to hog your money when it comes to VC. Live being a safe bet. I honestly like the thing that got me away from NBA because I actually kind of did give NBA Live a chance with 14, which is a mistake and a half because 14 was god awful. And yeah, like I played NBA Live 14. And I played like the career mode and all that. It was when I first got a PS4 and I wanted a cheap game. And NBA Live had to be $9, which is always like never the best sign for a game, like for a game on a console that's been out for like 3 months to be $10 and be a full-sized game.
And he just didn't beat him to the spot.
And I think that really soured me on them, but I've heard they're getting better. I literally I gotta say the one deal and like seeing some of the stuff on it, I almost bit I almost bit, and I'm probably ever closer to get to biting this year.
They're now up by 21. Kansas
A lot of people are getting tired of the Asian chick that was thinking she was black in my career. I forget who that's based off of, but it's based off of like some comedian. I remember seeing that. Like, it wasn't mentioned much at all, but there was like a comedian Asian chick who would always like walk around in like LA Lakers jerseys and hats. Just this kind of chubby Asian chick walking into like 7-Elevens, talking the exact same way, and I forget what her name was. But I think that was kind of like the homage to her. But she's not a character that's worthy of having an homage to. I thought it was interesting that they managed to find a guy who was more annoying than your friend in NBA 2K15. Like like I was not a fan of the FOF friend of Freak, and they happened to find a more annoying character than him.
Bennett inbounds the ball.
I'm like, wow, how do you manage to top that?
In the key, Boylan keeps it alive on the offensive end. Hits the layup. He's got 14.
Oh my God! If we hold Kansas,
the Cyclones.
I don't think it'll happen, but we've held them to 6 points right now. Without even thinking about it, we've held them to 6 points. There you go. Look at that goaltending. 10 times 10, though. Yeah.
It's like a library here, Vern.
I will say the one thing I did like was the I did like the orange juice thing. I feel like they could totally do that. Like, I wish they would do something sort of like the show. Like I mentioned this. As I mentioned the fact that I hated the fact that I've been in minor leagues for like 4 seasons just trying to get my spot. You know, and he's just like, yeah, but you wanted this kind of thing in basketball. I'm like, yeah, but also I want to be recognized for my talent.
Top of the key.
But yeah, like that'd be. I figured, like, you know what, if they ditched that storyline stuff and they ditched all that stuff, but they kept like the orange juice thing, like that's fucking awesome. They should keep that. You don't even have to have like cutscenes and all that. Just have like a dude that you can like, you know, befriend on the team and be like, all right, you can like level up your friendliness with them. Oh shit. You can like level up your friendliness with them and do, you know, the orange juice thing. Have like a team up. Like, keep that in my career, but just get rid of some of the other garbage.
2 minutes remaining. Stone. Off target.
Yeah, I would love to have the G League in there. That'd be great to have the G League.
Knocks down the first one. Both teams are going to make some substitutions.
I don't know why I'm not surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but it was interesting to hear about like independent basketball leagues. And like some of the places that they have like, you know, long-standing teams are actually quite popular and seem to have quite the draw to them. You know, they don't have an NBA or a G League team, but these cities have like an independent basketball league team, and they draw crowds.
Can't sink the first. He misses the
oh my God almighty. This guy.
dishes to the right.
Yeah, that was one of the things that like I originally didn't like in the early 2K10, like the what was it? I think 11 had it. 11 definitely had it. I think 12 might have had it. The working your way through the D League. But it's one of those things I'd like to see come back. It's like, you know, the idea of like working your way through. Not to mention just having those extra leagues. Like everyone talks about like the historic teams and all that, and that's cool. I completely understand the idea of the historic teams and all that, but NHL, like the NHL series, manages to do that while having teams from like 11 different leagues.
It's deflected.
It's crazy.
By Stone. Robbed by Lovelace. Beats it to the free throw line.
Oh, that's once again. It's like if NHL can figure out a way to get, 11 different leagues worth of teams, you can figure out how to get the G League in. Or maybe you can have like the Big Three.
Dumps it to the paint.
That'd be another cool thing. Let's see if one of the games figure out how to put Big Three basketball in there. That'd be fantastic if they could get the rights to some of those guys. I mean, not just some, but the vast majority of them. That'd be another fun thing to do. Like they've already have enough framework for 3-on-3 basketball.
And Tracy has a report from
really?
Coach Self just told his assistants if we have to defend with 5 guys in the paint, then let's do it. But I'm getting very tired of seeing us getting killed on the boards. That sent them scrambling to the chalkboard, Vern.
Thanks, Tracy. First half comes to an end with the score.
Thanks, Tracy.
37-14.
Wow.
What's your take on the first half, Bill?
I can't think of too much good to say about this game, so Vern, maybe you can do play-by-play and color.
Not a single 3-point shot has been made, except that one.
And now
they went 0 for 11 from behind the line. Holy Christ.
Would not be denied.
No wonder they're behind.
Everything and anything to get his points. Whether he had to go over.
Just imagine if they made even half of them, this would be a game.
He did it.
They're starting to. This is some Houston Rockets territory they're stretching into. You could be like the Johnny Manziel of the NBA, get banned, basically go to some other league instead to try to revive your career. That'd be great. Dude, the first like game developer that can bring back an arena football game is getting my money. Like the first developer that goes, all right, we're giving an honest to God shot at arena football gameplay. They have my money.
Right side passes it back to the high post.
It's such a niche thing. There's a lot of things that I've realized are like niche things that I'd love to see come back and have someone like give another honest try at, because it hasn't been done in forever, but like they tend to be like more niche things. Like arena football. I don't think anyone's going to do an indoor football game. I don't see that happening for a long time. And like a legit monster truck game. That's another one. That's another thing I've been like getting on a kick on, because I've been working on some stuff for like Monster Truck Madness. And I was like, God damn, why don't they do that anymore? Why is like every Monster Truck game some like really goofy game now? They don't just have a straight up racing game anymore with them. And I understand it's because it's quite niche. But it's like, I bet you it'd be more fun than some of the other games that have come out.
Sood inbounds the ball.
It looks like they're playing man-to-man.
Gets it right side.
Ah.
The Jayhawks need to find some answers here.
Even in the old Madden games, you still remember the EuroLeague. Oh, that's right, when they were doing like NFL Europe. Oh my God. There we go. Give it time, Vince 2K to make XFL 2K21. Oh boy. That'd be insane.
Puts it up. The long bomb hit by Conroy. He's shooting 40% from downtown.
I'd love to see who's the cover athlete for that.
High post.
Like they try to do like what they do with NBA, where they got Michael Jordan, and they're like, oh man, obviously Michael Jordan wouldn't fit for this, so who do we get? And like it's Tommy Maddox. It's like XFL 2K21 now with Tommy Maddox mode.
Bennett catches it far side.
It's like the Jordan mode in 2K11, where you just have to play through like different scenarios of Tommy Maddox in his one season with the with the Los Angeles Extreme.
Kansas calls time.
Yeah, either him or Rod Smart. For he hate me. Shot selection, goddamn. They poured on the points.
All of their starters back to the floor.
It's the XFL Championship, the $1 million game. The Los Angeles Extreme are up on the Demons 33-3 in the fourth quarter. It's your job to keep the lead. Like, wait, what? It's like, what? I'm sorry, it wasn't that exciting of a game. They won in a blowout. How are you supposed to make? To be fair, they could probably do like the double overtime game. They could either do like the double overtime game or be like finish the game in regulation, so that the creators of Saturday Night Live don't get pissed off at you for bumping them.
He's shooting 100% for the game. Sheridan step back over the midcourt line there.
Congratulations, you finished the game within you won the game within regulation. Now Lorne Michaels doesn't want your head.
Like this happen.
Interviews of Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin. Well, Joe Raleigh talk about what it's like to play football for like extras.
Passes it to the right wing. Shoots. The 9-footer was missed by Andrew. They're still
or that's just they become like playable characters. You unlock them like it's like they're legends or something.
They're lucky to get away with a miss.
The Jayhawks with some difficulties.
They get to do like NFL 2K5 where they get like their own team. Like when I make fun of the fact that they have like a Steve-O team and a Carmen Electra team, it's like Roman Reigns team, Mojo Rawley's team. It's like, hey man, like, what's up? It's Roman Reigns, the big dog. Come face my team. It's just a bunch of NFL rejects that they have for a team. It's like, well, we can't get like XFL legends because there really wasn't any. There was like maybe 2. So you got to get some NFL rejects. It's like, check out my star quarterback, Jimmy Clausen. I'm like, what? It's like, and check out my star quarterback, Christian Ponder.
He gets them both. McLeod didn't sit for long, and he's coming
Madden
back into the
Ultimate Team cards for the XFL. Oh my God. My team for an XFL game.
Covington didn't watch
God damn it.
And steps on the line. We're going the other way.
He lost track of where he
Roman's
was
FaceTiming you.
That's
Hey,
just
baby
not
girl, it's a
heads-up
big dog. I
basketball.
want to face your team. Believe that. You know, you make fun of that. That definitely sounds like something that like a WWE writer would put in a game.
Sheridan with the great look, 3 assists, and he leads.
Like if they're like, what would we have Roman Reigns say here? Catchphrase. Part of me would want to see how they do like a 3D model of Roman Reigns FaceTiming you. How creepy that would look.
And he leads all in scoring.
My star wide receiver Joshua Cribbs.
Leads him in. Picked off by Brinkley. Iowa State is shooting.
Check out my star kicker Blair Walsh.
Tracy has something for us.
Coach Wilson is not sugarcoating the issue. He told his assistants our fundamentals are abysmal. And then
I was gonna say, oh God, I always forget his name.
All right, Tracy. McNamara.
The infamous Raiders quarterback.
McLeod bangs it off the front of the rim and out.
But yeah, him just with Skittles hanging out of his pocket. He's just eating Skittles, talking about how he's gonna kick your ass.
The Jayhawks have got a lot of ground to make up.
Oh, I thought maybe he was going to. Damn it, Jamarcus Russell. Yes, thank you. Just fat Jamarcus Russell with Skittles hanging out of the They call me the Scrambler.
He gets the second to fall as well. Hoyland inbounds the ball.
Here we go.
Pass.
Boom.
Covington buries
Oh,
the
they're not playing too great now.
By 20. Kansas is really struggling. The
On second
Jayhawks
thought, I love the
all time.
idea of this.
They've got one left.
I love the idea of failed NFL guys being in this. They'd probably be in the actual XFL too, depending on if they wanted to try to get a new career. Just see some busts that are going on this year, like this past season, and then just think about the fact that they could end up in the XFL in 2020.
Well, it looks like they're getting set to inbound the ball.
I'm looking forward to see Josh Freeman being the star quarterback for one of the teams. I don't know. Is he a backup, or have people officially let him go? Is Matt Castle still around? Is he too old?
And it's picked up by Kansas.
God damn it.
About 5.5 minutes left in the second half.
Being the final bit of the long shot mode for Madden 18, bringing back older football players for one big game.
D like that can shift momentum on you in a hurry.
Boylan gets it outside.
If it was more politically correct, I'd love to see an actual advertised football game of has-beens versus draft busts.
Top of the key. Takes it up.
Guys who were once good that turned to shit, and then guys who were supposed to be big and then just completely collapsed. I could see it being a basketball thing.
But they still lead by
Castle
20.
is Stafford's backup.
McNamara
Good
just
Lord.
missed it. No three-point opportunity, but he'll go to the line for two.
It'd be like the pros versus Joes almost. Yeah, that's a good point.
Both teams are going to make some substitutions.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a basketball game of that. The amount of NBA busts that have come and gone.
Out on the floor. He didn't get much of a rest.
I'd love to see Greg Oden facing down Roy Hibbert in a has-beens versus never was. It's the NBA has-beens versus the busts. The men in the middle. Greg Oden
catches it right wing. That last shot nailed from
was a top pick.
Well, the defense was there.
I think it was in 2008. Turned out to not do much of anything. Here we have Roy Hibbert. Had a few productive years in Indiana before he eventually fell off a cliff.
Andrew corrals the miss inside.
That's what a coach wants from his defenders. Stay with their best shooter.
Here comes the point guard for the has-beens, Darren Williams.
Got his own board and then cashed in by Andrew. And they're now up by 23. The
Minoru Suzuki is 50 in 10 days. Jesus.
Track of his position and stepped on the out of bounds.
I thought he was 50 at this point.
Both teams are making a few lineup changes.
You forgot one of the most basic things in basketball there, his position on the floor.
Coming in for the draft bus, it's Adam Morrison. Adam Morrison taken to the court now.
Goes up, double clutched and laid in by Bennett. They got on this roll a while ago and just haven't looked back.
I want to do this just for the I want to find a way. I want to find a way to edit players, just so I can make this a actual possibility. I don't know how I'd go around making this in 2K18.
Coach South wants to see his players.
I'd have to learn the cyber faces and stuff.
He told his guys, if you get to the
hey,
open spot on
look
the
at
floor,
that.
I know you can hit that shot. Vern?
Thanks, Tracy. McNamara at the controls. Passes it to the baseline. Ibi Kunle dumps it off. Conroy takes a three. It's good. 17 points, and he's his team's leading scorer. Knocked loose,
What?
but it's
Hey, look at that. Oh my God, literally no one stopped him. He just started running through the middle of nothing to make it. I feel like we're good at this point. We're up by 25, I noticed, maybe 26 with 2.5 minutes left. Wow, they kind of started coming back a little bit. Not too bad. We got it. Anthony Bennett versus Ben McLemore. Isn't McLemore still kind of playing? And Bennett? Maybe to a lesser extent? I thought McLemore was doing a little bit. I couldn't remember. You can go grab Royce White out of Canada. I don't know. He might be comfortable there. Then again, he would probably like to actually play in the NBA. Well, I've gotten super duper lucky for at this point, and somehow managed to turn the team around. If nothing else, based off of conference home games and non-conference games, have managed to make it look the way it has. I mean, we haven't had a lot of like amazing wins. Iowa might be pretty good. Houston, Marquette, not so much. Duke is, I guess, a decent one now, but I mean, they're not that great. Other than that, like, we've had a lot of good wins, but not against like amazing teams, as you can see. So it's kind of interesting to see that we're still like a top 25 team, especially with how poorly we've done in conference play. But this is probably the big one right here to threaten my current home streak, which I think stands at 14 games now. 14-game home streak. Haven't lost yet. This is probably the big one right here, though. I swear, I don't know. I figured it was difficult. Maybe I gotta start thinking into MOP. Who knows? I still play like an idiot though at many times. Bennett's playing in Canada. McLemore's like third string on the Grizzlies.
The Texas
Oh boy.
Longhorns battle the Iowa State Cyclones. We're really excited to bring you this match.
Give it a couple years, you can
Hello,
get Chandler
basketball
Parsons in
fans.
there.
We're here at Hilton Coliseum.
I'm sure whenever his overinflated contract is up. I don't know when that's up. Poor Chandler Parsons. I thought he was like really good.
Control the tip off,
And then he
we'll
just
get this
sort
one
of like
started.
fizzled out.
Just begun and they're already in the
And then got like a,
Last shot dunked down
what
by
did he
Andrews.
get? Like something like, didn't he get like $26 or $28 million contract? Something absolutely ridiculous.
Launches one from beyond the arc. McLaren pulls
Something
it
that
in.
was like somehow
Deep
more
on a break
ridiculous
there.
than like the
That's
Joe
his
Johnson
shot,
contract that
and he was
Brooklyn
wide
gave him.
open.
Takes it up. That basket came off the feed by
Was it
McLaren.
Brooklyn or
He's got
I forget
four.
who gave Joe Johnson his ridiculous contract, but at least he produced.
Ullman passes it to the right. Picked off.
Hey!
Not a good entry pass, Fern. You just can't force it in there.
Miles.
Oh, that
shoots
was
it.
way long.
McLaren keeps it alive on the offensive end.
That's why coaches
Wow.
want you to hit the glass when the shot is
This
released.
is, this
Good
is
things
happening
happen
right now.
when you keep that pressure on.
Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Tracy Wolfson.
My roommate's also getting like regret for the fact that he has an Xbox One.
He told me that they want to use their quickness
He's
to
like,
their
man, there's so many
advantage."
good
He said
games
they can
coming
put
out that I
think of
really
another
want.
squad that could match their team speed, and he wants to make
This-
sure
but they're
that
all
shows tonight by
PlayStation
getting out of the
exclusives.
break and showing
The
how
Xbox
fast this game
exclusives
can be
suck.
played. Guys,
Thanks, Tracy. From 18 feet away, it was nailed by Covington.
I'm like, what? You didn't
That's
like
8
Lollipop
unanswered
Chainsaw? Admittedly, that looked like a fun game, but I was like, eh.
Last shot missed from three-point range.
And then what was the big one that like early on? Sunset Overdrive. That one looked cool, but I heard was like very mediocre.
Passes right wing.
Like, oh, what? You'd rather play Uncharted than Sunset Overdrive or Detroit? That like, I think he was really interested in playing Detroit Become Human. I think that was the big thing that he
The
was like really
Cyclones
interested
will bring
in.
out some reserves.
4-year, $94 million contract. This one dating a Jenner Kardashian
Covington
duty.
inbounds the
Yeah.
ball. Just over 10 minutes left in the half.
I guess he didn't like Cuphead. Was Cuphead an Xbox
Is tagged with
exclusive?
the reach, and that's his first foul of the game.
I think it's because it was also on PC though, wasn't it? As far as I remember. Thought it was on PC.
Catches it on the elbow.
But yeah, like
Covington skips it to the high post.
yeah, there's a lot of like PlayStation exclusives that he wants.
What a pass.
I don't think he's not really a Cuphead type person. He doesn't really play a lot of stuff like Cuphead. He and I we have games that we sometimes enjoy both playing, but most of the time it cuts off at maybe like a couple of wrestling games or whatnot. Like he's like, yeah, because he really loves like the highly competitive stuff like Overwatch. He plays a lot of Overwatch. He plays UFC online. He played a lot of Fortnite. I think he's been playing less and less Fortnite now and doing more Overwatch. But he is a very competitive person. Meanwhile, I've played a lot of my Switch stuff, which is, kind of a lot of like adventure type stuff and just kind of relaxing games like relaxing survival games.
9 minutes left in the half. Terrific job clearing some space under the glass. Physicality prevailing.
Oh, okay.
Passes it to the right. Covington feeds it to the elbow.
Bennett
gets it in the paint. Passes high post.
Come on.
Covington.
Get in there.
Hands it off. Bold pass. Goes up.
There you go.
Up and in.
There you go.
By 9. Bunner inbounds the ball. Leads him with the pass. Leans.
With the rejection. I love the D. Get it out of here.
Catches it. Top of the key. Backs down. Boylan takes it up. Got it. They're in front.
Oh yeah, then we also have different because we both like agreed on we both agreed on stuff like TEW because he fucking loves TEW. He never plays it on his stream, and I'm like, dude, you'll get some people. Like you'll get a lot of your usual people that are there might not understand, but you'll get like a whole new subsection of people who would appreciate like someone else, like who's entertaining, playing the game and posting like streams and stuff with it. Defense.
Well, let's get back to the action. The Cyclones are making
he's
wholesale changes.
Interesting with his booking. Because he told me he wanted to do he's like, man, I want to do a series where we just take everyone off of their contracts and we make everyone like a national-sized promotion. So and everyone's like the same level, and then we could just do a draft. I'm like, that sounds awesome. And then I told him, I'm like, I just wouldn't draft any women because I know you wouldn't draft any women. So I'll have my pick of the litter after the draft.
Not a good decision, Vern.
And you'd take someone like Io Shirai just to spite me and make her a valet because you don't book women's wrestling.
Kicks it out to the right wing. Bounce pass. Left wing.
Shit.
Stolen away by Allman. The D was really waiting for him there.
That's how you do it. Keep the heat on.
That was
Wait for the misstep,
very interesting in the way he guarded.
Andrew.
He was just so far away it wasn't even worth it. Hey. Russo, Cornette, your roommate. The Battle of the Brands. I did tell him my future plans for a storyline in Hawkeye Pro, and he just shaked his head. I told him what's been currently going on in one of the storylines in Hawkeye Pro, and he really shaked his head. He's like, what the hell? He's like, you're not even booking wrestling at this point. I'm like, they're just angles, you gotta have some fun. And then I told him, I'm like, I'm not done. Here's what I'm planning on booking over the next several months. And he's just like giving me like weirder and weirder looks. And like he's just like, this isn't even wrestling anymore. This is just a Marvel movie. You're just booking a Marvel movie. Is there any wrestling on your show? I'm like, yes, plenty. There's only one angle on a show every week. Come on, back in. There you go.
Backs him down, stuffs it.
There you go. Lucha Underground, most of the show is just angles. Yeah. It works.
Passes to the wing. Bunner catches it inside. Bunner was just sitting in the paint.
Hey.
And the ref's going to call him for it.
Well, things just aren't going their way.
I mean, Lucha Underground's taken seriously, and they got a guy named Killshot, whose whole gimmick is the fact that he was a sniper. He wears a mask, and he was a sniper in the military, and he was left for dead. Like, it's a whole big, like, story, and then people just accept it.
Ends it off. Backs down.
And it's like, yeah, Lucha Underground, man.
Bucket is good, and he'll have a
How
chance.
dare you abandon your sniper friend, who's also wearing a mask.
And that'll give him the 3-point chance.
Tacks on the free throw for the 3-point play. The Longhorns call timeout.
That one of their characters is a legit dragon. Yeah. I mean, they had that in Chikara, too. Like, wrestling promotion, they have a legit dragon.
Bunner inbounds the ball.
And then whatever the fuck Paul London was.
Sarche.
Still don't know what the fuck Paul London is. I love it though, because like it's a really I like how even for the insanity of Lucha Underground, people are still going, what the fuck is Paul London on? What is this? What is this goofy shit? Like in the terms of Lucha Underground, and Paul London's still off his fucking rocker with a gimmick.
Shooting 75% from 3-point range. Dishes it to the left side.
There it is. No.
Andrew.
Big man.
Count it.
Got it.
He'll have a chance for the 3-point play.
A superior effort to fight through the foul and put it down. Strong move.
We're kind of abusing this Bonner guy. Yeah.
Get a few of their starters back in the game.
They're benching him now.
Foul shot is good for a 3-point play.
One promotion with Jerry Ryan had a normal gimmick as a cop instead of a guy obsessed with his wang. Yeah.
Passes it to the elbow. Good job by Nash. But they're still down.
It was kind of funny, just the looks that he gave me when I was like, okay, so Lufisto is like a legit like superhero, right? Like he's like, okay. He's like, and I have Billy Kay from the Iconics, and she's the simpleton sidekick named Kangaroo Jess. He's like, okay.
Puts it up. It's in for 3.
And they're the Justice Legion, and he's just like, and they're fighting Kimberly, but I put a mask on her, and she's dastardly. He's like, oh my god. And they run a thing called the Evil League of Evil. Like the Evil League of Evil. I'm like, just hang on.
They're now behind by 10.
Hear me out.
Leads him in. Knocks it loose. But it's recovered by Iowa State. Sessoms goes up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you tell a storyline that you're doing, it's like, you know what? Maybe this is slightly insane.
Space for that pass. The last layup was dropped in by Andrew. Gets it outright. Sarche beats it to the top of the key.
God, I am feeling tired. Tired. All right, we have done very well in keeping the ball in our hands. We've also gotten very low. Oh, my God. Okay. Imagine if you did this in like universe mode in 2K18 and
kicks it out to the perimeter.
You two trying to do color commentary for it. I don't even think. I think some of the angles that I've ran, I don't even know if it's even physically. It'd be insane if it was physically possible in 2K18. You know what they need to bring back besides GM mode? Because I've talked about like the possibility of getting NBA Live 19, just to be like, okay, you know what? They were really shit in 14 when I bought them, but I've heard they've gotten really, really good. I might actually give them a chance again if 2K does the bullshit that they've been doing.
Nash inbounds the ball.
And WWE 2K19 is maybe a game I won't get because I realized I didn't play that much NBA, like I didn't play that much WWE 2K18. Like I played enough to where I went, you know, this really wasn't worth the cost. This really wasn't worth the amount of money I paid for it. I am not playing it like I would, like I should. But yeah. Besides GM mode, they should bring back like the story mode editor, especially with like all the angles that are in there. Like, cause you've seen enough like little cutscenes and other stuff that happens. Like, it'd be great if you could like trigger that yourself and do that, and then make your own stories again with it, and do like your own, just type out your own things. It'd be great.
Sessions brings it up court.
It looks like they're playing man-to-man.
Loveless backs in. Boylan.
Oh, that pump
Gets
fake.
the layup
That pump
after the
fake got him.
fake freezes the D. By 50.
But yeah, I would love to see that in like another WWE game. Now to just scream out onions for some
Meyer
reason.
bounces it to the right
I
side.
have no idea.
Down low. Goes up. Snatched off the
There we
defensive
go.
glass.
Hey, I got a rebound
1:43
too. That's a
left in the
rarity.
first half.
He thought he'd
That
get a little
was
fancy,
close.
huh, Vern? That's got to hurt the pride a little.
But it's
Whoop.
retrieved by McLaren. Gets
Not
it to
what I
go.
wanted to do, but okay, I'll
They're
take it.
up 41 to 24.
As he's shooting the ball, it's like I only tapped it, but let's see what happens.
Sarche. Dishes it to the right. Fires the three. Boylan hauls it in.
It's
That's
amazing
his
because
sixth
it's
rebound
not
of the
like
game. The Cyclones
it's not like I'm
with
doing
a
well.
middle.
It's just they're doing
Good
worse.
job on the
I've just
defense to
gotten
make him think
consistently.
about that shot.
I've been facing teams that are just
Left to
doing
right.
consistently
Takes the
worse
shot.
than me.
Covington hauls it in.
I just happen to get lucky on some rebounds here, and then maybe put a couple of shots in.
Swishes it through. The
And then
streak
them not
continues
getting
with
shots
14
in.
unanswered.
Has led to this somehow, some way.
Passes it up court.
I'm up by 19
Loveless holds it
goddamn
down.
points, and I
That's
have no
another
idea
rebound for a
why.
team that's doing a great
Everyone's
job on
missing
the board.
shots.
They've got a big edge there today.
Everyone's just missing shots this game. I have a feeling that my luck is going to run out as soon as I get to the tournament. Like, I'm going to feel really good about myself.
Well, the game
It's going
just
to be like,
slows
man,
down
we
for
did
us.
such an amazing
Sees things
turnaround.
that others don't.
It's been
Beautiful
such a
work fighting
fantastic
that foul and get to the
season.
line for the
I feel like we could do well in the tournament, and then we get like a high seed and then just lose to like a 15 seed, or we wouldn't be that high up. It would probably be like a 4th seed. We'd just lose to a 12th seed. That's probably how it would happen. Like when we lost to TCU. We just faced TCU again. They're like, no, my kryptonite.
Bennett backs him down. Gets it on the free throw line. Pokes free, but it's recovered by McLaren. Bennett dumps it off. Loveless dumps it to the inside. Right wing.
Pick and roll.
Miles
Oh, look
takes
at
it up.
that. Oh, my
Buries the
God.
teardrop layup.
It's almost like, you know, running a couple plays once in a while actually helps.
To 26. What do you think of the first half, Bill?
Well, I don't want to rule out the possibility of a comeback.
73% field goal shooting.
But there is plenty of
How? How am I shooting 73%? Andrew himself has picked up 18 points.
Pick, Bill?
Andrew, he's my
If
pick
he's
for
not
him.
an
He's
All-American
finding
by the
ways
end of the
to score every
season,
trip down the floor, and he's carrying his team. He's been a force
I'm
on the
gonna
offensive
shit a
end,
brick.
and he's putting on a show for everyone here.
This guy is throwing down stat lines I don't think other people in the NCAA are doing.
Tremendous effort.
Just bringing
Player
the
of the
fans
half.
back in. TCU's like your Jinder Mahal and your Randy Orton. You just can't beat them. I know. I can feel it. I can feel it. Like
We're
all my
set to
luck.
begin the second half.
I can feel all my luck right now being used up in these games to keep my home streak alive. And I'm just going to shit the bed like no one's ever shat the bed
inbounds to
before
start the second
when we
half.
get to the tournament.
Hands it off. Nash backs in with the shot. Gets it to fall from 15 feet.
I wonder how does the NBA Live like presentation do? I should find that out because EA's always been pretty good about presentation. They still use the ESPN stuff. I'd imagine. Like even if gameplay wasn't the greatest, that was always the better. That was always the thing that was like really good about it is that they paid for that ESPN license and used it. I'm shocked that with all the money that NBA 2K has made, that they never once they get all the NBA on TNT talent. They just don't actually get the rights to like goddamn TNT or NBA TV or any of the other stuff that make it really cool. If they just like were able to start like switching scoreboards. That's another thing I'd love to see in a new 2K game. Is like, hey, listen, the show manages to figure that shit out. It could be a little bit better if they had the money to throw at it to do like Fox or some of the other places like that. But I'll take MLB TV and then an additional one. Like to at least have the idea of like televised games being different than your normal average Joe games. Like that'd be fun. Like the idea of like an NBA TV game, and then maybe if it's a big game, it's going to be on TNT. And then you could use like the inside the NBA stuff, considering you pretty much already use it anyway. And imagine NBA Live still has the ESPN stuff in use.
Can't sink the first. Didn't sit for long, and he's coming back into the ball game. Good on number
there
2.
we go.
Bonner
Good Lord.
the ball. Just over 10 minutes left in the second half. Lead pass down low.
Oh boy.
Target on the last layup.
Bonner is in a pretty cold stretch right now, Vern, and there's a danger that it's going
I was
to
about
start to
to.
rub off on the rest of the team.
Backs down.
Damn it.
The Longhorns with some difficulties. Allman takes it up.
It's also another interesting thing that EA has the WNBA license too. Wonder if they'll do anything with the WNBA license more this year. Like they just had the ability to use them the first year. I wonder if they might actually try to do something to say that would actually make things exciting too. That might give them that little bit of leg up on 2K. Like 2K comes out as like even better story mode for your career. It's like, oh God, no.
Coach Barnes is looking
it's like VC for everything. And then like NBA Live 19 comes out like, yo, remember when we had the WNBA? Well, you can do shit, like you can do more shit with them now. Like you can do a franchise mode with them.
We'll bring out some reserves.
Like we just added more shit that you can do.
Inbounds the ball. Just over 9 minutes left in the second half.
Yeah, WNBA franchise mode.
Skip pass, right side.
I don't know how many units it would really sell, but it'd probably be an interesting enough selling point that wouldn't take nearly as much work as whatever the fuck 2K does.
The lay-in was good by Bennett. They're now up by 18. Hubbard brings it up.
Add in the G League, and you've got an experience.
Leads him in. Bonner goes up.
Hey, in order to hear music in this game, you must get VC. 2,000 VC to listen to your favorite track.
From downtown.
Another 2,000 if you want to listen to it with your favorite haircut.
Hubbard beats it to the left side.
Oh, I fucked up.
Covington inbounds the ball. Miles dumps it off.
Yeah, I feel like that's all they would have to really do is like, yo, we're not going to charge you for shit, and on top of that, we're going to give you a couple extra things to play. You might not be completely interested in it, but there are going to be people who are going to be interested in it. If the day ever came that there's like a WNBA franchise mode, I'd probably be on that. Of course, that'd probably be something that everyone would be on. Like, I'd imagine, like, the day NBA Live 19 comes out, there's just, like, 18 videos. It's like, WNBA franchise mode. And then some dude just, like, making a goofy face into the camera while holding a controller.
They've got to learn to be patient on offense.
I can just see it right now.
If you don't rush them.
Oh my God! He just fell. Why did you just fall? He just like slammed his face into the. Why?
Some big time rejections.
No good on that last shot.
Come on.
Up and in on that last layup.
Everyone 2K thought it'd be a great idea to have their own version of GTA during the start of career mode. Oh my God! I forgot about that. Oh man, driving in the car. Oh my God, I remember seeing that in like with the guys who did like their own, like they were doing like different. I think I've mentioned that before. Like the guys who used to do like career mode for NBA would like put some serious effort into it, because they'd like make their character in like GTA or some other game or something, where they could get out of the car and be like, "Yo, man, I'm finally in the NBA. I got myself a nice new house. This is my new apartment in the city. Feeling fresh in my new car. Can't wait for my first NBA game."
He's got 10. The Longhorns with some abysmal stats.
I remember they did shit like that with like NASCAR too. Where they're just like, "Hey man, Remember this? Like, let me start you in on this NASCAR." Oh my God, wasn't it like 2005 or something? Like, you couldn't physically play the game until you played the prologue, which was facing, I forget who the fuck it was, like Casey Mears or something, in like a race of like Dodge Vipers, like your Dodge Viper versus his Dodge Viper, racing down the streets. I'm like, is this a NASCAR game?
Knocks down the first one.
They became NBA ballers all of a sudden. Oh, man. Oh, God.
The second to fall as well.
Just trying to get a drink.
Brinkley inbounds the ball. Risky pass.
Hey, oh my God. It worked out somehow. He gets benched for the season. PTSD to me playing on my own in the show. Oh my God. This is why I'm going at like my own pace with the show on Road to the Show, because I'm like, you know what? You can transfer characters over constantly, year after year. So if I start a guy now, I don't have to get out of like AAA ball immediately. Because I could always just play it. I could always just import the character for next year and continue playing, and that gives me a reason to buy the game next year.
Leads him with the pass.
So that I can continue playing.
Got the whistle, and he'll shoot a pair of free throws.
But yeah, oh my God. That's a thing. I don't think I mentioned the fact that I have like my own character on the show that I don't stream. I'm like 4 seasons in now. It's a pain. So 2018 goes by. I get from AA to AAA in like June or something. And then July comes around. And then I get through the last half of the season. And I'm like, okay, I did pretty good. That was a solid AAA season. They're like, hey, we'd like to bring you back. I'm like, perfect. This will be my time to shine and show how good I am in AAA ball. And then like you start off in April, and then I think it's like May 5th, like I'm barely a month in, and I go to slide into second, and it's just like, oh yeah, you have a fractured ankle and you're gonna be out for the season. I'm like, I got I played for a month.
Cuffy is needed out on the
I'm
floor.
like,
He
oh,
didn't get much of a
now
rest.
now I have a fractured ankle, and I'm out for the season. Shit. So yeah, I just zipped on through that,
He completes the three-point play.
and they offered me another 1-year contract at AAA ball. I'm like, all right, yeah, all right. This is my comeback. It makes for a great story. Comeback. And I'm just balling out. Like I think I hit like 380 or something. And I get to July, literally a week before the AAA All-Star game. And then it's another goddamn slide into second. This time I broke my hand sliding into second base again. And I wasn't out for the rest of the season. Well, okay, I was technically out for the rest of the season. I was out for 2 months, which would have meant that I was out for the rest of the regular season. We were doing amazing, and I found out that I was the guy carrying the team because they ended up missing out on. They went from like #1 in the league to missing out on the playoffs because of the 2 months that I was gone. So before I could come back to try to play the playoffs, they had given up the entire hopes and dreams right there. So I'm like, well, damn, okay.
Out of bounds. Touch last by Iowa State.
So then I finally get to like my fourth. This is my 4th season in AAA, and I finally put on like a full good year performance. And I worked on my durability. I think my durability was like a 73, 75 or something. It's now like an 82. Like that was one of the main things. Is like, all right, let's work on that durability so I don't snap something just trying to slide into second base.
Getting set to inbound the ball. The Cyclones are putting
Legitimately hit for I think it was like a 419. Might have been in the 420s by the end. I can't quite remember. But yeah, probably like a 419. I think it was like 15 or 16 home runs. 126 RBIs.
The Longhorn with some difficulties.
There was one game in particular that I was so proud of because I think I might have gone like 2 for 6. I did okay, but like both of those were like 3 RBI shots. So like I didn't. My stat lines were wonky because like yeah, you got 2 hits, but you got 6 RBIs in a game. I was like shit.
Bunner ties him up, but the offense will keep the ball as the arrow's in their favor. McLaren inbounds the ball.
Yeah, so I thought for certain that I was going to get a look from a team because it's like, man, I'm an 81 overall. I just led the league in damn near everything a batter can in AAA. And it was like, yeah, no team wants you except the Tigers who, you run their AAA team for. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just be I thought I'd be a free agent. And then the game's like, you can only be a free agent after 6 years. I'm like, how? And they're like, yeah, you have to take this $78,000 contract for a year from the Tigers to be a AAA starter. I'm like, but I did finally get like a call up here through spring training. I haven't gone all the way through spring training yet, though. So we'll see what happens.
Dumps it to the middle. Allman.
I have a feeling, though, because the guy at third base isn't that bad, that I probably won't take his spot. So I'll be back down in AAA until I can finagle my way into the majors and then immediately ask for a trade because I know it's not going to last unless I go to a different team who need a third baseman.
Backs him down. Miles
got him.
gets it right wing.
Oh, he was standing there. Hey!
Looks like the clincher with that make. There's still some time left on the clock, but they're going to have to work quickly or this game will be over.
Killing it. Killing it. Just barely staying in it. They were starting to catch up to me. It was starting to make me a little nervous, but looks like I'll be fine now.
Covington.
That wasn't the greatest of ideas. There you go. There you go. Ah, get it in there.
They lead 77-61. Texas is really struggling.
You know, these aren't like massive blowouts either. These are just like us. Like we managed to, like I think we've been pretty dead even this second half because I think we got up by like 13 points or something in the first half, and we've just been barely managing to hang on. I think we just force them to play at our speed, and it's not a speed they're used to.
He gets them both. Bunner inbounds the ball. 1:01 left in the game.
There we go.
Fires. Nice pump fake to set up the three.
I needed to hydrate because
Because
Hydrate Bot's not showing up for another 13 minutes. And I needed him now.
That last shot, good by McLaren. Ullman brings it up.
My bot, why have you forsaken me?
That last three ball is drained by Lloyd.
The disparity in threes is tremendous.
And then Stay Hydrated Bot showed up and said when there was only one set of footprints.
McLaren bounces it down low. The last shot and in by Andrew.
I don't think they can come back. They're too far to climb in too short a time.
Hubbard raises up. Can't hit beyond the arc.
All right.
Sessions tosses it up court.
Hydrate Bot turned
Lobs
heel.
it to the low block.
He only shows up once an hour.
Shot. Swish. Lloyd inbounds the ball.
I'm sitting in a room with radiating body heat and radiating heat from a giant computer. It's hot.
Free. And it's
Oh my
controlled by
God!
Texas.
Let's not
That's one of
find
those
new and
shots that has a
inventive
coach
ways
say,
to
"No,
lose this game.
yes."
Let's not go full Northern Iowa here.
McLaren takes it up. Slides in with a soft
Hey,
They should hold on to the lead, Vern. If they play smart, they can walk away.
interesting that would happen to Texas too.
Nash from
And of all
17
people.
feet out. That's the end of the game. The Cyclones
Just
knock
find a
off
way to
Texas,
collapse in the last
87
minute.
to 73. And
Just
now it's
Iowa
time to show
teams.
you,
Texas is their
player of the
kryptonite.
game.
Wow, only 6 rebounds, but 35 points, 7 for 8 free throws, 14 for 20 field goals. Damn. People are going to think this is rigged. Especially that 7 for 8 free throws. Did you see how he got his foot in front of the line every time he shot? It's a series that would have gone an extra, that wouldn't have had to go an extra game if the refs weren't paid off. Sim through the day. If you fell asleep in a sauna, stay hydrated, but probably wouldn't make it in time to save you. Stay hydrated bot probably wouldn't make it in. Yeah. It's not really a sauna, but it's still like warm in here. It's still like, Texas Tech. What happened when I played Texas Tech? I beat them 75-53. And that was it. Texas Tech was another team I only faced once. Interesting to note. So the one time we faced off was at Hilton, and we beat them by 22. So somehow we've, it's been all right. I like the fact that we haven't won everything. I felt like it was going to be a little bit longer of a turnaround, but I think being in a major conference really helped, and the fact that like the worst the team is at, like the rock bottom that the team is at, is still like an 82 overall. So it's like it could be far worse. It really could be far worse. If 82 overall is rock bottom, sign me up. We're now in 83. And we've extended our home streak officially to 15 games. I don't know if we're going to be playing at home coming up. It says we're at Texas Tech, so I'm wondering if we're done with home games for the season, which would be great because I don't want to have to put that crap on the line still. We got ourselves a full season of not losing at home. We got that attendance. I think it was like a 40, 45, something like that. We got it up to a 53. That's helpful. hopefully at some point we will eventually bring everybody back in and have them fill the place out. I think it can hold like what, 14-3, 14-5 maybe, 14,092. I think it's slightly different now. I think it's like 14,490 or something like that now. Can't quite remember. 53%, you know. Oh wow, are we like the worst in the Big 12 with that? Oh, Colorado. Even with a 13-16 record, Oklahoma's still at a 73%. Look at that, 10-18. Nebraska's so much worse, and they still have 61% filled out. Jesus. This has been like a necessity to like bring people back in. It's like, it's okay. We don't suck anymore. It's fine. I'm going to save it one more time just to be safe. And yeah, I was going to make it a shorter stream. So yeah, it's about 2 hours. But yeah, I started it later than I wanted to. So I'm going to end it here since I'm definitely dead-ass tired. And there's not really anything I could really do that would necessitate keeping me awake at this point. So there you go. Ended the season quite nicely, 21-8. Not the best season I've had, but could have been much worse. And definitely a huge turnaround from last season. What was it, 7-24? So yeah, we're doing pretty good in that regard. We have the Big 12 tournament coming up. We face Texas Tech, who's goddamn. I mean, we did beat them once by 20 already, so we'll see what happens. We'll have a few games in, and even if we don't win, it'd be interesting to see if we still end up in Selection Sunday. I'm sure we'd still probably end up in the tournament at this point, even if we were to lose, like not actually win the Big 12 championship, but you never know what'll happen. So that'll be what we'll look forward to, is getting through that and then seeing where we land in the tournament. So there you go. Thank you guys for coming out. I greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for continuously watching as well. Greatly appreciate that, and I will see you guys next time.